Do we have to talk about my mother again? I shifted in my seat, smoothing the creases of my pants. I sat in a black leather chair across from my therapist, June Beckett, Psi D. There was a conspicuously empty couch next to us. She always said, "Sit wherever you like." But fuck if she was going to convince me to lie down on that couch. I needed control. Not that it had taken psychoanalysis for me to figure that out. As I've mentioned before, Quentin, our relationships with our mothers are important to how we relate to the world. This is the first relationship we experience, and in many ways, the most important one we have in our lives. Well, my mother is dead now. I'm not sure how much good it does talking about her. It helps me understand you, knowing what things were like for you in the past when things were good, and also when things were not so good. What sort of relationship did your mother have with your son? Damn. So she'd gone from yanking off the bandage to picking at my wound. A burst of sweat escaped my pores. What the fuck? Both of them are dead. You're wasting my time dredging up the past like that. This bitch was royally pissing me off. Dr. Beckett held her hands up in surrender. All right. What do you want to talk about? I took a deep breath, trying to center myself. I want to know what I can do to get over my girlfriend who left me. The doc didn't miss a beat. What do you think you have to do? I hated how she fucking turned everything back on me. That shit was tired the first time she tried it. Now it was downright exhausting. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, I snipped. She sat silently. I hated this technique, too. Why the fuck was I even here? I'm not sure what the point is to all this if you're not going to give me any answers. I feel like I'm wasting my time. Yet you're back for the third week in a row. I guess I keep hoping you'll help me. And what would that look like to you? You giving me some advice, telling me how I can forget about Sophie. Forget about her? Is that how you think you'll get over her? I nodded. How did you get over the loss of your son? Did you forget about him? Of course not. More salt in the wound. I was starting to fantasize about punching her in the face, or at least pushing her down some stairs. So, how did you cope with it? I shrugged. I don't know. I guess you live with something long enough and the pain eventually lessens. So it just fades? Yeah. I wonder if the reason you're having trouble moving forward is because you blame yourself for the breakup. I'm sure that's part of it. It was my fault. If I would have never lied to her, we'd probably still be together. My girlfriend Sophie and I started our relationship as online, dominant, and submissive. I trained her over the internet for the first few months we were together. But after a while, Sophie grew restless and wanted to meet in person. I was reticent, but eventually agreed. It was then that our relationship really took off. She lives in Fort Worth, while I live in the Seattle area. The relationship was long distance, and most of it took place online, with one of us traveling to see the other a couple of times a month. Unfortunately, the closer we became, the more nervous I got. You see, bad things tend to happen to the people around me, people who care about me, people I love. My son died in a boating accident when he was 6 years old. I watched him bleed out with no way to stop it. My mother died of cancer, and my former submissive tried to kill herself when I broke things off with her. She's now brain dead, basically a vegetable attached to a machine that keeps her alive. I didn't want any of these things to happen to Sophie. The more I cared about her, the more afraid I was that something bad would happen. So, dickhead that I am, I decided that I needed to loosen the reins on her so she could find another dom. As much as it pained me to imagine her being submissive to another dom, I needed to prepare her to do just that. My great plan, which completely blew up in my face, was to share her with another online dom, a guy who wanted to be my apprentice.